All right, welcome in everybody. I am your host, creator, and trainer for the TCP Supersystem. That is my crypto and equity analyzer that I use to consistently generate alpha returns that far exceed the 7% that people boast about in the equity markets. And I'm here to share it with you for free and train you on how you can understand the interpretations that we share on a nightly basis. This will be a three-part system, our training series, covering the three major components of our system, which is our main indicator, our hot sensors, and our mean reversion data. And honestly, this is just a rhetorical question, but could it be the best stock and crypto trading system out there? Possibly. I can tell you it took me 2 to 3 years to build the thing and fine tune it through a lot of experience, struggles, painful trades, etc. So on the screen, I will show you what this looks like. And there is an image of the system in totality. Now on the top up here, that is our mean reversion. This will be the main indicator. These are the hot sensors. The first training series will be tonight, covering the main indicator. Okay. So what is this? Who am I, and why am I doing this? So, I really wanted to create something that I could share with my community, ordinary traders, to help them identify areas of opportunity when it comes to crypto and equity assets. Something that could help them generate alpha returns with the understanding that the signals and interpretations in the system itself, they're not recommendations to buy or sell. They are only helping you identify areas that you want to hone in on so you can really take advantage of those opportunities. Again, you can see here 2 to 3 years to build this thing. It's been fine tuned. I can tell you that it's remarkable and has served me very well in generating the alpha returns that everyone looks for. So again, on the screen, the three main indicators I just covered. A little bit about me. So I spent about 17 years in banking, holding different roles, largely risk management, compliance related roles. I got a finance degree from Auburn University. Uh, so I've, kind of taken some of that knowledge and just have a passion for markets. So I wanted to bring something to the community that could really maybe change your life. It certainly has changed mine. I will say, even though we're going to do this in three series, the main indicator tonight, it's really designed to use all three components together. Uh, so, I really want to urge you that as we go through these different trainings, understand, one, watch all three videos. You'll understand at the end how all three play a role in making our decisions. I will say the trades that we make, we do share with our community. We share interpretations of all these crypto assets, these equity assets that we cover. We bring you alerts daily when they fire through TradingView based on our system. Those are shared via Patreon mainly, are much faster than the other channels, which would be X and LinkedIn. All those are on the screen, and the links for those will be in the description. But again, I want to make sure you understand that it's designed to use all three components together, and we're going to cover each of the components in one separate video per component. Um, so that's again uh, the jux of what it is. Uh, Disclaimer, of course, none of it's financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You must do your own research, make your own decisions, but hopefully, what I share from this system, the alerts, the interpretations, maybe these can help you in your research efforts to really hone in on those areas of opportunity. So, got to put that out there. So, again, let me take a drink real fast. Again, the first video will be tonight. This will probably be the longest video, and then the other ones will be much shorter. Now, we'll say through our Patreon, we do offer different packages, free and paid for, that will give you access to me directly if you ever want to cover a particular crypto or equity and just get our interpretation. Um, to do that, I will be just basically blurting out a number in each of these videos, somewhere randomly in the video. That way, when you reach out to me, I can confirm that you've watched these videos, and it helps me kind of gauge people who are truly interested. So, again, urge you to watch the entire video and watch all three videos. And additionally, we will be having probably a separate, I guess, collage of videos, if you will, where we actually show you examples of the trades using different signals from the system, because you can use this a multitude of ways. You'll see what I mean here in just a minute, just on the main indicator. So let's get started. And we're going to show you, we're going to go through just 2 or 3 slides real fast, and then we're actually going to show you some charts in this slide deck, as well as real live charts from TradingView as we speak, because we all know crypto markets are 24/7. Thank goodness. You'll get some real live action, and who knows, we may even get an alert while we're on here. So first thing you're going to see on the main system, and just to take you back a few real fast, this is the main indicator in the middle where you'll see the candles for the asset that you're looking at, right? So you're going to see a couple different things. Cloud formation, that's going to just simply represent whether we're in a uptrend or downtrend. It's going to be green or red. Now we can customize that to whatever color we want, but usually green and red. You're going to see a series of 3 lines. Those are moving averages that we use, not like a MACD analysis or RSI analysis or anything like that a lot of these indicators leverage. They're really just there to show us levels of resistance and support based on whether we're in an uptrend or downtrend. That's really it. Then you're going to see a couple, I guess, a combination of yellow signals. You're going to see some triangles. You're going to see some labels. Those are representing, the triangles are representing potential uptrends or trend reversals, and then the labels are representing confirmed trend reversals. So we'll pay attention to those. Now we don't just use those, but we'll go into that in just a minute. And then the last thing you're going to see is the series of diamonds. We're looking at light green and dark green, light red, dark red. Now we'll say, historically, when combined with some of the other indicators that we'll talk about, the dark green and dark red diamonds are our favorite indicator or signal, and historically has been the most opportunistic time for really considering what action you want to take. I will leave it at that, and we will show you plenty of examples. All right, let's keep going here. So again, this is an image of just that middle section that we kind of showed you. This is an Ondo chart, a daily chart for Ondo, which is one of those crypto projects that we like a lot, especially in the tokenization space. But just to kind of show you here, we wanted to demonstrate this and hopefully give you clear understanding without seeing all the other mess. So you can see, again, the cloud formation, and there's a start of your uptrend, start of your downtrend. And the key here, other than it telling us, what kind of trend we're in, but when you're in a trade, we leverage this to, understanding that we want to try to stay in that trade as long as we can, as long as we're in that trend, right? Now you're going to see some other signals on here in just a minute that will contradict each other, and you'll say, well, how can you stay in that trend? How do you know when to get out? And we're gonna be able to show you that. Very clear examples. So that is simply the cloud formation. Don't really have to do anything. Just pay attention to the colors, right? Next, the moving averages. So again, you can see here the 3 lines that I mentioned a moment ago. It's going to be the 50-day, the 100-day, and the 200-day. And yes, clearly using the 50 and 200, you can look for the death crosses, the golden crosses. But our main purpose here is to try to use them as areas of potential support and resistance based on where we are in these trends. So that kind of gives you an idea of how we leverage those. All right, then you're going to see what we call our trend signals. That's those yellow signals. Triangles, which are potential trend reversals. Labels, confirmed trend reversals. So as an example on the screen, you can see here we got our potential downtrend, right? Confirmed downtrend. And better examples would be here. So like here's our potential trend reversal, right? Here's our confirmed. And then you can see what happens. And then we'll go into what those diamonds are in just a minute. But, and again, when it comes to these yellow signals, again, like this right here, you can get some choppiness, right? So you can get some very rapid changes and or I guess contradicting signals here. Because for example, you got a potential uptrend, well, a confirmed downtrend. So that's why we just said a moment ago, we don't usually rely on the yellow signals alone. It's very important, especially for these, that you use the other signals in this system to, I guess, corroborate what you're thinking. So never rely on those. Now you can, for example, if you did here and followed it all the way up to those diamonds, which we'll talk about in just a minute, that would have been a fantastic trade. But again, like here, you get a lot of choppiness, so you can be in and out and lose money. So again, we don't use them solely for trading. So now we'll say this, the second bullet point here on how we use this. Generally speaking, most often we always give it at least 1 to 3 days, whether it's a potential or confirmed, just to see if it solidifies itself and gives us more confidence. So we always do that. We always recommend that. You'll see that commentary in our videos. And then again, using it with the other indicators in the system. All right. And then the last thing for this main indicator are the diamonds. Again, we're really looking for dark green, dark red. And for example, on that Ondo chart, just to show you, and this is where I'll show you the diamonds first, and we'll talk about how you could have used this. So you can see here the dark red diamonds on this Ondo chart, and I picked this example on purpose. So you can see the first one hit here, and then we got a cluster up here, right? But I want you to notice something. The whole time, what's the trend color, right? It's green, right? So going back to what we said earlier, you want to try to stay in that trend as long as possible. And how do you know when to get out? Well, you're going to see some other things outside of these diamonds in the next video, especially when it comes to the mean reversion. But these are the most opportunistic areas to consider scaling out, maybe if it's on an uptrend, or doing a total sell. That's up to you. Like I said, these aren't necessarily, recommendations to sell. They're just identifying areas of opportunity to scale out when you have an uptrend, right? So let's just say you would have scaled out 3 times. 1, 2, and up here at 3. And you're out of a trade. You're in that green trend the whole entire time, making fantastic returns, lowering your risk as you go. It's a beautiful thing. So I just wanted to show you that as a prime example of how you know when to get out of that trade, is using the other signals in the main indicator. Now there's also the hot sensors, there's also mean reversion, which all play into this, which we'll get into, but this is just on the main indicator, so it's the diamonds. And vice versa on the downside. Again, going back to what we said, here's your confirmed downtrend, right? You got your red cloud. Your very first and best opportunity to re-enter here happened right here, dark green diamond. And yes, you do have light green. I will tell you specifically, I do not really leverage the light green diamonds too often. Could it be a good area to maybe dollar cost average in on a downtrend? Maybe. We really have to look at the other signals, definitely, if we're going to leverage that one. But I'm usually looking for those dark green. And more times than not, those will be the best opportunities on the downtrend. And you can see, if you were down here at the bottom, that's pretty much at the bottom, right? And then what you're hoping for is exactly this, maybe a little sideways action. You get a confirmed trend, a confirmed uptrend reversal, and you get a cloud formation, and then off we go. And what do you know? We're hitting right off that moving average, which is your resistance at that point, because we've been in a downtrend. So the next thing we'd be looking for there is a break of that. That is the 100-day moving average. So that's how we would be leveraging this. And we're going to give you some real live examples as well. So just stay tuned and watch all the other videos, because in all the alert videos we go over, it's real live examples for alerts of that day, and we interpret the entire chart and what we think. So that is, again, cloud formation, the yellow signals, the diamonds. All right. And then this is everything combined, right? Again, diamonds on the top and bottom side, your cloud formation for your uptrends or downtrends, all right? Your potential and confirmed trend reversals, and then your moving averages for support and resistance levels, when combined. Uh, Again, it's going to be extremely important to understand the different components. That'll help you understand our interpretations much, much better. And you will see over time that this is extremely effective. And again, like I said, it's not something I built overnight. This is something that's been fine-tuned, and I use it all the time. And again, it's designed to be leveraged in conjunction with everything. So again, I would urge you to watch all the videos, which will lead me to my first call out. Number 7. Number 7. That will be the first video number that you will need to know. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for this one. And actually, no, I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and do another live example here. Let me make sure that I believe that is the last one. So yeah, you can see the next video will be the hot sensors. And then the final video will be the mean reversion data. And again, going back to our first slide, right? These are the hot sensors. This is the mean reversion, so we will go through all that. But with that, I'll give you a little bonus feature tonight. We're going to look at the Bitcoin chart. Actually, tell you what, let's look at the Ondo chart as it stands today. Well, that's pretty much, okay, that's pretty much what it looks like now, so I don't want to do that to you again. Here's one, XRP. So XRP is one that, we monitor heavily, transparency. We own a large position in XRP, but just to kind of show you here, and this is a great, great, great example of the main indicator. So you had a potential trend reversal here on November 6th, right? Confirmed November 9th. That's amazing, right? 1 to 3 days. That's why we recommend waiting 1 to 3 days on the yellow. And even 3 days later, you've missed a little bit, sure, but that gives you more confidence, right? Then bam, off we go. We're in an uptrend. You got the cloud formation. And again, look at all these dark red diamonds. So that's how people say, well, your dark red diamonds fired all throughout the uptrend. Yes, but this is why you need to watch the next video, because this is extremely important when understanding this right here. And we can show you how you can stay in this as long as possible, especially in the second and third video. So that was the uptrend on XRP, but now where we are today, the last confirmed uptrend signal fired on April 18th, right after we bounced off that 200-day moving average. So again, there's that support on that downtrend. We got the confirmation. We got a green formation. Now we're bouncing right around that 100-day moving average, so we need to see what happens here. And we could be off and running. But again, that's where all the other stuff will come into play that we'll get into. But so that's XRP as it stands today. Today is April 28th, 2025. Let's just take a look at a few more just to be generous here. All right, here's one that's pretty. This is Solana for you Solana holders out there. Yes, transparency. We do own a position in Solana. Again, here's a beautiful hit here. So here's the dark red diamond on this uptrend. That could have been your exit point. Bam, you get a crash. You get the red cloud formation, downtrend. You never got a dark green diamond here, right? And again, when you don't, that's when all the other indicators come into play. But again, you got some choppiness, so there's some of that inconsistency. Exactly why we don't just use the yellow signals, right? You don't want to get caught in an unfavorable spot. But again, just to show you, we got a potential trend reversal here on the April 12th, confirmed uptrend on April 17th. So that's 5 days later. Green cloud formation, pressing up against that 100-day moving average, small retracement back to the top of the cloud. And from here, we will see where we go. So very nice. And maybe one more here. And there's a reason I'm not mentioning anything else because I want to present that in the video. So at the end, we'll likely do a video that combines everything and interpretations of everything so you can really understand how we leverage everything together. So that will be at the end once we do all 3 videos. Near protocol, here's a good one. So again, we had a potential uptrend, confirmed uptrend with a dark red diamond at about the same time. So that could have been a scale out point. But again, you'll notice we had a little retracement and then we kept on going in that uptrend. So again, you want to try to stay in that cloud as long as you can, especially when the price is in it or above the cloud, right? And again, once it drops below it, you can see we did get a potential trend reversal. Came back a little bit, then we got a confirmation, and then a red cloud formation. And our first dark green diamond wasn't until all the way down here at roughly 319 and change, somewhere in there. And then again at roughly 224, and then again $1.95. So let's just say you were dollar cost averaging into those 3 positions. And now we're already on the uptick. You're probably looking pretty good, right? So that's how we leverage it just on this main indicator view. Now, granted, we can be even more precise with those entries using some of the other signals, which we will get into later. But that's just on the main. So again, that were a couple live examples as it stands of April 28th, 2025. I hope you enjoyed that. Again, number 7. I'll write it down so you can share that with me if you ever reach out to me. Again, we love to engage. So if you have an asset, whether it's crypto or equity, feel free to put it in the comments. We will engage you. You can feel free to check out our socials, especially the Patreon page. We do share a lot of news that we see is relevant in the space through our LinkedIn page, Trim Capital Partners. Check that out. Then, of course, X, we share everything. But I will say we do get daily alerts through the system. We try to share them pretty quickly on Patreon first. Right now, that is free. We would like to keep it free. In order for us to do that, we need you to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. If we can get the support and keep the subscribers, we can keep this free. And I can tell you it's extremely valuable, and it has been valuable to me. So with that, I hope you stick around for the next video. Again, it's going to be covering the hot sensors. And when we mention those, we may talk a little bit about the main again, because they're meant to be used in conjunction with or in support of one another. So until next time, best trading. Thanks for viewing, and I hope by the end of this, you'll see how we leverage this, and maybe it can change your life like it's changed mine. Thank you.